For decades, researchers, doctors, and families have been hoping for a drug to treat and slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Today, they may be a step closer. I want to welcome Dr. Jacobo Mintzer, head of brain health research at the Ralph H. Johnson VA healthcare system, with a newly approved drug. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. What is the name of the drug?
Lecanemab.
And how is this different from any other drugs that have been produced thus far to treat Alzheimer's?
So there's a new generation of drugs which are supposed to, and they do, take the actual lesion of Alzheimer's disease and remove it from the brain. Now, Alzheimer's disease is a complicated disease and it's not a cure, but we hope that if we take patients early enough in the disease, Alzheimer's disease will be converted into a chronic disease rather than a fatal disease as is today.
Yes. And right now, how many people suffer from Alzheimer's?
So in the country, we have about 6 to 7 million people suffering from Alzheimer's disease. In the VA area, which is our focus at the moment, across the nation, there are over 750,000 veterans suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and probably as many or more that have the lesion of Alzheimer's disease in the brain, but they are still functioning totally normally.
Is this considered a hereditary disease? Is it environmental? Is it a little bit of both?
And the answer is yes. So we know that there is a genetic component. We know that there is a specific lesion. And we know that if we remove the basic lesion of Alzheimer's disease, patients, families, whatever, can tell us that they slow the progression. Now, also we know that lifestyle factors, like exercising, eating right, sleeping right, or whatever, can reduce the risk up to 30%.
That's a huge percentage.
So it's a huge percentage. So we believe that now with individuals that will have these new tools in their armament to treat them, and that we will have changes in lifestyle, that the progression of the disease will reduce substantially.
Now, if I understand this correctly, Lecanemab, it was more or less put on the fast track by the FDA to get approval. Is that true? And do they see this as something that's...
So let me clarify.
Yeah.
Lecanemab has been approved for individuals that have some type of memory problem, what we call mild cognitive impairment. And they also that they have, very, very early signs of actually Alzheimer's disease. However, we believe, and that's really the study we're doing today, that if we take people way before that, because we know that the lesion of Alzheimer's disease is in your brain up to 20 years before you have the first symptom.
Wow.
So that gives us an opportunity of 20 years of a window to provide care.
What's the average age of diagnosis?
The average age of diagnosis is about 65.
65, so 20 years prior to that.
So people in their 40s
45?
already could have the lesion of the disease.
What do you recommend for those patients? Just to go and get an MRI? Or?
Well, no, you just give me the perfect thing, because all around the country, we're doing now the studies that would tell us to the treatment of the future. We are here concentrating on our veterans. So what we try to do is to find veterans who have a family member that have the disease, that they are over 65, even if they don't have a member, or they're over 60, even if they don't have a member. And what we can do for them is to do a simple blood test. And they come to our clinic, they will do just a simple blood test. And the simple blood test will tell us if they have a high chance to have the lesion of Alzheimer's disease in their brain. If they do, then we do a lot of testing to see if indeed they have any problem. And if they don't, we say, go home and have a glass of champagne, right? But if they do, then we will confirm that they have the lesion in their brains with scanning. And then we put them in a study that will mimic the future of the care of Alzheimer's disease. So these patients will be receiving a drug once every 2 weeks or once a month, and as they get it, we will be looking and see if the amyloid will decrease. And we know the drug will do it. So our hope, and if we keep the level of amyloid very low, these people will never have a memory problem.
That's incredible. So we are getting much more than one step closer to really fixing this dire problem that has caused so much pain in families for so many years.
Absolutely, and we are here concentrating in veterans for 3 reasons. The first reason is we owe them a lot. The second reason is they are always willing to serve. And the third reason is that veterans have a higher risk to develop Alzheimer's disease than non-veterans, even if they have the same genetic and lifestyle. We don't know the reasons, but that's why we want to start with them. Locally, we want to start with them first.
Absolutely. We're going to put that information of where to contact everyone at the VA. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Jacobo Mintzer, for joining us on more of this. I look forward to having you back and continuing this conversation.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Thank you. We're back after this.